Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money. Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good.
Very good.
Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, Lara, Ginger.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Lights go low, the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Brave only, got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. Turn it up, lean back, feel the breeze. Late night truths drifting through the trees. It's for the culture, by the culture. Brave only's got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Headlines flip with a soulful twist. Behind the scenes where the magic sits. It's the heartbeat of the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune in, lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Brave only's got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire.
Well, hello. To you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour live on a Monday morning. Glad to have all you here. Shout out to the 10 people that were here at the top of the show. Thank you for coming through. 5 people, 2 people here now. Either way, thank you for being here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 destinations for you all this morning. American Dream Mall, East Rutherford, New Jersey, has 11 new restaurants and places that you can shop. So we'll talk about that. Some positive news on the autism front. We'll talk about some new therapies that are being talked about that could be coming your way soon if you have a child or an adult with autism. Also, too, we want to talk about a blood test that could really help in the cancer fight for real. It's a huge development that we will also talk about. Simone Biles opened up a brand new restaurant. I'll tell you where. Don Lemon, brother, I respect you more than Stephen A. Smith, but can we please just not have any more celebrity presidents? I think we have learned our lesson quite well. Yes, Don Lemon is potentially thinking about running for the presidency of the United States of America. We'll talk about it. Lebohang M. If you don't know who that is a African comedian. And when you hear what he is being sued for, you're going to be like, Braylon, really? Yes. And then, of course, Carlos King, child. As you guys know, Carlos King, he's a human being. He existed. He is in the world, the rest of us. But he interviewed Quad from Married to Medicine, and King has some things to say on that. And plus, not only that, we're going to check in with Carlos and see what he thinks about reality TV. It was a very interesting development. So, like I said, 7 destinations for you all. Let's get to it because higher is waiting, low is available. But either way, we got to go on tour. Good morning, Miss Peaches. Glad to have you here. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do hear that virtual tour music in addition to that as well. Or you hear that virtual tour music as well, because one thing to know, 2 things for sure, that over here, this channel, a lot happens early. Roll.
It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Julie Chen. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
Morning everywhere. Come on, get up.
I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Price. And it's a little early for this.
Now this it's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early. Every day's good when you're starting it out right. But whatever you do, daylight. And a lot happens early. Can you feel it? And I say,
Good morning, everybody.
Are you girls ready for the Jonas Brothers?
We have an early show exclusive. Yes.
A lot happens early.
A lot happens
Early.
The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
It's a new morning.
Yes, it is a new morning. Julie Chen, Moonves, and to Russ Mitchell, Dave Price, Terry Smith, and Maggie Rodriguez. You are absolutely right on this channel right here. A lot happens early. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully all is well for each and every single one of you. Let's get to the gig and doing what we do. We have 7 destinations for you all. Let's get to it. Glad to have all of you here this morning. Let's start off with American Dream. Here we go. Here it is. Like I said, shout out to rollout.com, celebrating 25 years on to the next 25. Thank you, 14 people, for being here. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Glad to have all you here. American Dream Mall adds 11 new restaurants and stores. American Dream Mall in East Rutherford, New Jersey is welcoming a dozen new dining and shopping destinations in 2026 from Mediterranean Bites, a global beauty flagship. Now, for those of you who don't know, DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club, is the cultural director for the American Dream Mall. And there's been articles about, Gen Z going back to malls because they are tired of online shopping and they want the physical experience. And y'all saw in the thumbnail that I said that these could be new content centers. I said that because there is a Coca-Cola social bubble place there where there's a podcasting studio inside there, which is really, really cool. So let's keep going. American Dream, the massive entertainment retail complex located on Route 3 in East Rutherford, New Jersey, is continuing its rapid expansion. The mall, which opened in late 2019, is already home to more than 24 theme parks and attractions alongside a wide range of dining and retail options. Now, 5 new restaurants and 6 new stores are set to join the lineup, making it an even more compelling destination for visitors across the region. Now, if you're wondering, American Dream, why does that sound like it has Mall of America energy? That's because it does. Mall of America is the flagship, and this is the sister of Mall of America. So, yes, indeed. Like I said, I would not be surprised if this mall company really starts making it do what it do. Because I could definitely see American Dream Orlando location, although they'll probably call it something different. And then I could definitely see them probably doing probably a Las Vegas location. I don't think they're gonna do it in LA. I mean, I know LA's got all that land, but like LA's got a lot of malls, and Vegas definitely could use an American Dream mall location. So the 5 new places to eat, the incoming food options span a wide range of cuisines and concepts, adding real variety to an already diverse dining floor. So Maison is a casual Mediterranean restaurant founded by Israel chef Eli Shani. Having launched its first American location in 2018, the brand brings a menu of bold, approachable dishes, including lamb, kebab, pita, and brisket with onions to the New Jersey complex. Firehouse Subs, the popular sandwich chain with more than 1,000 locations across the country, is also headed to American Dream, known for its hearty specialty options. The brand has built a loyal national following since its founding. Little Dumpling brings handcrafted dumplings and a broader menu of Asian dishes to North New Jersey, promising a fresh and approachable option for those craving comfort food with an East Asian influence. So, you know how, you guys remember the Too Fat to Fly guys, and they will put like soul food dishes inside fried chicken wings. I believe this is what Little Dumplings is going to be, because I do believe you can do like fried chicken dumplings. Trying to think what else you can probably do. Sausage and cheese dumplings and stuff like that. I believe that dumplings is a very versatile dish. So I believe that's what they're saying, because they said here handcrafted dumplings and an approachable option for those craving comfort food, right? So comfort food in a dumpling form. Sounds interesting. Nan Zhang Zhao Longbao, a well-established name on the East Coast, will bring its authentic Southern Chinese soup dumplings to the complex. The brand has earned a strong reputation in New York City and beyond for delivering genuine Chinese comfort food. And Yogost, which bills itself as North America's leading yogurt drink brand, rounds out the restaurant arrivals. The chain specializes in organic yogurt beverages made through its signature 10-hour fermenting process, offering a healthful alternative within the mall's growing food court landscape. This is the thing that I do love about malls. I think that what ended up happening back then, right? Back then, the malls were Amazon, right? The malls were the e-commerce websites. And what malls were able to do, it was almost like how can I put this in a way that would make sense to y'all? It was almost like a 365 Comic-Con, 365 CES, and 365 E3, where you could go to those conferences and conventions and what have you, and you can pop in to see what's going on in each store, each restaurant, and see what's new all the time. And I think what's happening with malls is malls are recognizing, oh, wait a minute, we can be that. We can be the supplemental or second screen experience for the e-commerce, right? Because think about this, Apple, even though they are all digital online, they have Apple stores. Google has Google stores. Microsoft has Microsoft stores, right? So that physical, tangible, person-to-person experience is still very valuable. And the reason why I'm saying, malls are like your second screens, because when you're watching television, right, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, that is your second screen experience in addition to the TV show. So how like everybody watched Roa last night, and some people did watch along parties last night. Some people did live after shows immediately following the episode. Some people will do after shows like I will be doing tonight. And you're trying to consume anything and everything. So technology is that second screen to enhance your experience. So what consumers are recognizing is, oh, wait a minute, I love this brand so much. If they have a store, I can that can be a part that can be my second screen to enhance how I navigate this digitally. And not to mention too, I think brands are also recognizing, because y'all remember back in the day when there was like Best Buy exclusives and For Your Entertainment exclusives and Toys R Us exclusive, KB Toy exclusive, and GameStop exclusives. I think these brands, these companies are recognizing, oh, we open up mall locations. We control supply and demand already digitally. But if we can create some exclusives in our stores that you can only go to that store, we're not going to put it online. Now we're getting both sides. And I think brands are starting to realize, like, hey, maybe we do need to partner up with malls more. So it's nice to see a renaissance of malls. I've been teasing that I may do a live on that. I still want to do a live, but I'm still researching, making sure that my thoughts are coherent and that the game plan that I have makes sense. So let's keep going. So then we have 6 new stores and attractions on the retail and entertainment side. The additions are equally varied to carry some notable names. Kadashi, a prominent Pakistani fashion lifestyle brand founded in 1998, will open a 10,000 square feet store at American Dream, known for blending traditional hand-woven fabrics with vibrant contemporary designs. This location will be only the 3rd Kadashi store in the entire United States, and its first in New Jersey. Oh wow! Been around since 1998. That's big. For only 3 stores, you've been around since 1998. Hey, listen, everything gets known at a point in time. Kyoki will open its U.S. flagship location at the mall. The popular Asian beauty retailer, which has more than 20 locations across Canada, is recognized for its carefully curated selection of skincare, makeup, and lifestyle products at accessible price points. Coach, of course, you all know Coach very well. The iconic American leather goods accessories brand is also coming soon, bringing its full range of handbags and accessories to the complex. Then we have Formaggio, I believe that's how you say it, Formaggio, the Italian luxury brand known for its high-end footwear and accessories for both women and men, will further elevate the retail mix at American Dream. Windsor, a go-to destination for dresses, tops, and everyday fashion, will give shoppers another affordable clothing option within the mall. And Tipsy Tie-Dye adds a creative and playful touch, offering customizable tie-dye shirts, hats, and accessories for visitors looking for a little something different. And then, of course, entertainment upgrades ahead of the World Cup beyond shining Shining. A lot of things are going to be shining inside American Dream Mall. Beyond dining and shopping, American Dream is also refreshing its entertainment lineup. The Sesame Learn and Play attraction is receiving a significant upgrade with new rides and interactive play spaces on the way for younger visitors, and that is in addition to Nickelodeon Universe, their indoor theme park. That's in addition to Big Snow. That's in addition to the DreamWorks water park, right? That is open year-round, by the way. And also, too, I did see, I believe on social media, that the FIFA World Cup tickets are up to $11,000 for tickets. Yeah. And also, too, this is in addition to the flagship Toys R Us store that's in American Dream Mall. Hey, two people, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Perhaps most timely rather, is the arrival of the Messi Experience, a dedicated attraction celebrating soccer legend Lionel Messi. With the FIFA World Cup matches scheduled at the neighboring MetLife Stadium, the addition could not be better time for the influx of international fans expected to descend on the area. Oh yeah. I mean, World Cup fans and FIFA fans, they don't play. Okay, like you think the NFL fans or something? Oh no, like there's a cavalry energy in soccer. Okay, so listen, congratulations to American Dream. I hope there is more to come. And listen, maybe American Dream Studios can be a thing. Creating content from that mall and selling it to streamers and cable networks and broadcast networks. I think that malls really could, in addition to content creators, really revive television and streaming, because streaming rather is in that creative wall as well. All right, y'all, more Burnley's Virtual Tour Live coming up right from the space right here, right now. Let's talk about some autism, shall we? All right, y'all. Shout out to rollout.com once again for celebrating 25 years on to the next 25. New autism therapies reduce symptom severity by 40% in kids. Innovative therapies and early intervention programs are helping autistic children develop critical skills while supporting families navigating the challenges of autism spectrum disorder. And I forgot to I forgot to talk about a destination that I will bring up here in a little bit. Actually, let me find it real quick. Give me a moment, y'all. Never mind. I just remembered I did read that fabulous story about her, Emily B's autistic daughter. So I did read that. Okay, good. All right, here we go. Let's get into it, everybody. When 3-year-old Marcus began therapy for autism, his parents worried about his future. He rarely made eye contact, struggled to communicate his needs, and became overwhelmed in social situations. 18 months later, Marcus greets his therapist by name, uses short sentences to express himself, and plays alongside other children at preschool. His transformation reflects a quiet revolution happening in pediatric autism care. Children with autism spectrum disorder are experiencing better outcomes than ever before. Let me read that 2 more times. Children with autism spectrum disorder are experiencing better outcomes than ever before. Children with autism spectrum disorder are experiencing better outcomes than ever before. Thanks to advances that recognize autism's complexity and embrace personalized approaches, research shows children receiving comprehensive early intervention now demonstrate 45% greater progress in communication and social skills compared to previous treatment methods. Research shows children receiving comprehensive early intervention now demonstrate 45% greater progress in communication and social skills compared to previous treatment methods. research shows children receiving comprehensive early intervention now demonstrate 45% greater progress in communication and social skills compared to previous treatment methods. That is amazing. So earlier screening catches autism before age 2. Pediatricians now identify autism in children as young as 12 to 18 months. Uses sophisticated screening tools during routine checkups. This represents a dramatic shift from a decade ago when most children weren't diagnosed until age 4 or later. Early detection matters enormously because the first 3 years of life offer the greatest window for brain development and intervention. Children diagnosed at 18 months can begin therapy 2 years earlier, making substantial differences in long-term outcomes. Studies indicate that 80% of children start intervention before age 3 show significant skill improvements. Now, if you guys remember Dr. Mimi and Steve from Married to Medicine, they have an autistic child. You have Faith Evans, she has an autistic son. I believe Kim Whitley also has an autistic son. Fat Joe has an autistic son as well. And like I said, Fabulous and Emily B, they have an autistic daughter. So there are many celebrities out here. Even Holly Robinson Pete has autistic children. So this is very huge, not just for the celebrities that have children with autism, but also for everyday people who have autism. When you have autism, it is not a life sentence. It is not. And like I said, anybody who calls somebody the retarded word, makes fun of people, this, that, and the third, what goes around comes around. Okay? He or she has not sinned cast the first stone. And if you support somebody who makes fun of children, who makes fun of people with disabilities or anything else, you are just as thirsty and as toxic as that individual. You're guilty by association, and that means you make fun of children, people with disabilities, and other people who disagree with you. My Lord Jesus. But public information is out here showcasing that children are progressing more than dilapidated, decrepit, and demented adults who are supposed to be elders. Ain't that shocking? Moving on. Play-based therapy makes learning natural and engaging. And by the way, too, I remember something at my high school, Parkview Art Science Magnet High School, right? And there was this talent show called The View at the View. It was pretty much like our Showtime at the Apollo, but for Little Rock, Arkansas, right? For high school students. And that's when you found out who had it and who did. But the blessing of that talent show was it was an outlet. The reason why some of y'all have to make fun of other people is because y'all don't have an outlet for yourselves to breathe, to be who you want to be, and to explore. So because you don't have an outlet, you have to hurt others who do. That is sad, that is pathetic, and that is gutter behavior. Moving on. Modern autism therapy happens during everyday activities rather than rigid clinical sessions. These naturalistic approaches follow children's interests, using favorite toys and activities to teach communication, sharing, and problem-solving skills. If a child loves dinosaurs, therapists incorporate dinosaurs into lessons about turn-taking, asking questions, and expressing emotions. This child-led method increases engagement while building skills in contexts where children actually use them. Programs using these techniques report that 70% Participants show measurable social engagement within 6 months. Programs using these techniques report that 70% of participants show measurable social engagement improvements within 6 months. Programs using these techniques report that 70% of participants show measurable social engagement improvements within 6 months. Amazing, 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 amazing. Hey, two people, welcome in. Digital tools expand therapy access and practice. Tablet apps and virtual reality programs designed for autistic children provide engaging ways to practice skills. Many children who struggle with face-to-face interaction respond well to digital interfaces, making technology an effective teaching tool. Virtual reality proves particularly valuable for rehearsing challenging social situations. Children can practice ordering food, navigating crowd spaces, or start conversations repeatedly in safe environments before attempting them in real life. I remember a program Dr. Phil had when he was on his talk show. Now, I know Dr. Phil's a quack in some ways, but he wasn't a quack in other ways. So he had this virtual reality program where, let's just say you were a recovering alcoholic. Dr. Phil, through virtual reality would be at a bar helping you, through working through your alcoholism. So imagine, if you will, your child has a virtual reality device on their face and they're seeing themselves at a daycare, and there's a child, offering a toy block of like, hey, do you want to build with me? These programs, right, are very new, but also to take your time with what works for you and your child, because every child's going to be different. But the fact that technology can be a tool and not a hindrance is a blessing. Now, of course, you got to think about sensory overload, right? Lights, colors, and sounds and everything else. I remember one time, for the longest time, we could not go to Applebee's in Little Rock, Arkansas, me and my family, because the old Applebee's sign was like, it was neon, and I'll never forget it either. It was neon red and green, and I just cried every time. I don't know why. I'm over it now, but it was just something about all the colors at once. And you think about, different places, like, for example, at the Rocket. I call it the Rocket. I don't call it the Rocket Mortgage Field House because nobody calls it that. I call it the Rocket. Stadiums and arenas are now having sensitive sensory areas for children, right? Where they can go and watch the game. You can go in that room and watch the game with them, and it's not overwhelming for them. So thankfully, we live in a society that's not ran by thirsty toxicity and thirsty toxicity supporters who believe in degrading, going after and dragging people with disabilities, men, women, children, anybody that doesn't look like them, sound like them, or agree with them. Basically, thirsty toxicity, her supporters are the Black version of 47 and 45. And we see the hell that's happening with that piece of shit bastard. And that piece of shit bastardess and her bastardess of supporters. Moving on. Let's see here. These programs track progress precisely, helping therapists adjust. Interventions based on detailed data or data. Parent training multiplies therapeutic impact. Healthcare providers increasingly train parents to implement strategies throughout daily routines, transforming meal times, bath time, and play into learning opportunities. This approach dramatically increases therapeutic input beyond weekly clinical sessions. One Seattle mother described how parent training changed everything. Learning to recognize and respond to her son's communication attempts reduced his frustration behaviors by 60% while accelerating his language development. Parents become their children's most effective teachers when equipped with proper techniques. I'm going to give y'all a tip for all the parents out there, right? And for caregivers and for people who want to be supportive, right? If an autistic child is screaming, be still, be still and be still. I'm gonna say this on the big screen. If they are doing a tantrum, that's them not trying. How can I put this? If they're doing a tantrum, if they're screaming, if they're yelling, that is not them trying to disrupt anybody's day. That's not them trying to be a menace. That's not them trying to do anything. They're trying to communicate. And because they cannot communicate, that's the only way they can. I'll say it 2 more times. If a child is screaming, if they're yelling, they're trying to do anything to get your attention. They're not trying to disrupt your day. They're not trying to be hindrance. They're not trying to do anything wrong except communicate. If a child is screaming, if they are yelling, they're doing anything. They're not trying to disrupt your day. They're not trying to be a nuisance. They're not trying to do anything wrong except communicate. Because that's the only way that they can. Because some children are non-verbal. Okay? So I wanted to talk about this because I know it's becoming more of a prevalent topic in our society today, but also too, it's best that you hear from somebody who actually cares about people. Because other people have to promote that they got a new morning show and promote they're going to be reviewing a reality show that other people been reviewing. See, when you got to promote stuff that people have already done, you ain't doing shit. See, if you were about something, you would have been about something. Because you made yourself an obstacle for the people. So because other people nucked up and bucked up, now you want to complain about obstacles being in front of you. If you're not an obstacle to other people, people will not be an obstacle to you. So I would rather have people like myself and other people. And here's the thing, y'all. Expertise has levels to it, right? There are professional autistic experts that have went to college, that have their masters, their doctorates, their PhDs. But also, too, there are people like myself and parents and children and caretakers that their expertise matters just as much. See, like I said, the reason why some people look at other people as an enemy is because they hang around people who move in an enemy energy. 2 more times. The reason why some of y'all look at other people as enemies, because you keep hanging around people who move in an energy, who have an energy of moving like an enemy. The reason why some of y'all look at other people like an enemy, even though they're not an enemy to anybody else, but that is your narrow-minded view, is because you keep hanging out with people who move in an enemy type of way and fashion and shape. No one knows everything, but everybody knows something. Be accountable, be responsible, and have integrity for where you learn the information from. Let's get back to it. My God. Family support programs addresses everyone's needs. Progressive programs now comprehensive support, including mental health counseling for parents, sibling groups, assistance navigating educational systems. Parents of autistic children experience higher stress levels than other caregivers. Addressing these challenges helps families maintain stability. Sibling programs help brothers and sisters understand autism while processing their own feelings, developing empathy and coping skills that benefit the entire family dynamic. And also, too, look into vocational schools. I know Job Corps is no longer around because of the bastard that everybody else voted for, okay? But vocational schools are really good for people with disabilities and autistic children, people with different learning styles, because it's hands-on. Everybody has a different learning style. Some people are audio, some people are visual, some people are physical. So learning that learning style can help you navigate the education system. Also, too, the state has resources where they bring resources to bear. And believe me, I know it seems like there's a lot of thirsty toxicity out here, but behind every thirsty toxicity behind every person that has the thirsty toxicity energy, there is a person that has a quenching, helpful energy, and they want to be, they want to invest, not take away. And I genuinely pray for everybody who is going through something. Shout out to every caregiver, where you are caring for a young child or you're caring for your elderly parents and grandparents, because we all remember COVID. And I'll never forget, there were people putting their hands through the glass to say hi to their parents. All the children that are in the NICU, and how many women have died giving birth through C-sections. I also pray for all the men that they are doing the best they can to support their wives through miscarriages. I think in today's society, we're learning that it's okay to be human. You know, when they say, oh, that's an angry black man or that's an angry black woman, I will point out to anyone and everyone at any given time, here, there, and everywhere. There's a movie called Inside Out, and that every emotion had a color. Sometimes you got to reach people where they are. And, you know, we talked about AT2 and what he said of, you know, it's okay to be selfish and think about yourself, but also don't be so high and mighty to forget that other people are going through painful experiences as well. And what may not be painful to you, be painful to somebody else, but also, too, you never know what pain is until it hits your doorstep. It's really sad that at 31 years old, I have more of an elder energy than elders who will say, I will look at you and not even speak. But if I can just ask a question, didn't somebody have to look and speak at you at one point in time to invest in you, to encourage you, and to uplift you so you can know that you could be a somebody? My God, Jesus, today. Moving on. Man. Building brighter futures. These advances represent more than medical progress. They reflect growing recognition that supporting autistic children means supporting their families and creating environments where differences are understood and accommodated. For 1 in 36 children diagnosed with autism and their families, these innovations offer genuine hope and measurable improvements in quality of life. So awesome report. Thank you, rollingout.com. And also, too, IEP plans are very important. You get that start in elementary school. Actually, I think you can get IEP plans starting in pre-K, kindergarten, Head Start, and you just keep that updated, and that can go to college. Also, too, jobs are supposed to make accommodations for people with disabilities as well. So your child is going to be A-okay. Believe me, if this autistic person can be up here on YouTube to get to 1 million views and survive the unnecessary storm I went through that made me better, and God took care of that hell, I promise you, your child's gonna come out A-okay. Not because I'm telling you, but because God or whoever you believe in did for me and did for the children, I promise he's gonna do it for your kids too. All right, y'all, I'm not gonna cry with y'all this morning, but I wanted to bring some joy to y'all, because that's what we do here. We bring joy, we bring information, and we try to do it with love, grace, and space. So speaking of that, let's get to some more health news here. Shout out to rollingout.com, celebrating 25 years once again, on to the next 25 years. Take a look at this, y'all. Blood tests now detect 12 types. That's right, 12 types. That's right, 12 types of cancer before symptoms. Revolutionary screening technologies are identifying cancers at their most treatable stages, giving patients better outcomes and more treatment options than ever before. Now, that is something we can all celebrate for sure. Let me get some applause for that autism destination. All right, here we go, everybody. Let's get into it. Cancer screening technology has entered a new era with advances that allow doctors to detect malignancies years earlier than previously possible. These innovations are fundamentally changing cancer care, catching diseases at stages where they remain highly treatable and significantly improving survival rates across multiple cancer types. Medical research shows that early detection can improve 5-year survival rates by up to 50%. For many cancers, up to 50%. So up to half for many cancers, you can have improvement on 5-year survival rates. It's amazing. The difference between catching cancer at stage 1 versus stage 3 or 4 often determines whether a patient faces manageable treatment or a life-threatening diagnosis. New screening methods are making early detection accessible to more people than ever before. Multi-cancer blood tests screen for dozens of tumor types simultaneously. Perhaps the most exciting development in cancer screening involves simple blood tests that can detect multiple cancer types from a single sample. Now, I know what you're thinking. Braylon, this is sound like Theranos, and it is. Okay, but Elizabeth Holmes is now a part of this one, all right? These liquid biopsy tests analyze cell-free DNA circulating in the bloodstream, identifying genetic markers associated with various cancers. One such test, now approved for clinical use, can screen for over 50 cancer types. Say that 2 more times. For over 50 different cancer types, detecting many before symptoms appear. The test proves particularly valuable for cancers that lack effective traditional screening methods, such as pancreatic, ovarian, and endocrine cancers. Early studies suggest these tests can identify cancer up to 3 years before conventional diagnostic methods. Healthcare providers emphasize that these multi-cancer tests complement rather than replace established screenings like mammograms, colonoscopies. So this is not a replacement for that. Still get your mammogram, still get your colonoscopy. But in addition to that, when you go for your checkup, getting this can also help you, potentially stop sickle cell disease, right? And other cancers that are known in Black and minority communities, right? One of the main things I love about Married to Medicine is they really do showcase the weight of what they do. And I think Dr. Contessa said less than 1% of us are in the healthcare field. So whenever you see a Black woman or a Black man or even a minority, whether it's Indian, Chinese, Italian, Mexican, Irish, what have you, when you see them have selection day, and selection day is where the school, right, announces where they're going to go for being a doctor or a nurse, repost that on Instagram, retweet that on Twitter, post that on Facebook. Talk about on YouTube, because the more that we showcase these selection days, the more of us will be in those rooms. And I know right now the world seems like it is crazy outside, and believe me, I feel you. But one thing to know and 2 things for sure: as a man thinketh, so is he. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And word of mouth is still the biggest media tool in the world. So the more that we uplift instead of drag, the more we uplift, instead of drag, the more that we uplift instead of drag. Now, some of y'all brains did not develop after the age of 26, okay? And some of y'all don't have the attention span to do live streams to talk about the things, okay? In addition to that, some of y'all are close to the casket to die. They have the cradle start life and becoming something important. So now that you're in the middle of your life and you're, reflecting and recollecting and trying to gather your bearings of, oh, nobody cared about me in my beginning. So I'm going to hurt, destroy, and give negative energy to people who did get cared for in the beginning. Here's the blessing. There's a lot of people who didn't have a great beginning, but they were still responsible for what they did in their beginning. They recognize that they're still here, and they see that the future is only as bright as they make it. Let's roll on. Oh, Lord Jesus. Man, I remember when I said that conversation that I had about Nick Cannon and Melody Cherie would not be had on any other platform. And turns out Bray was right. And it's sad that your supposed best friends who's supposed to look out for you want to have a conversation about a big topic like that because they don't have the capacity, capability, and comprehension of brain cells to form a brain to have that conversation on a platform like theirs. Moving on. Listen, early detection of who can handle the way and who can't is very important. Because as we see here, however, they offer an additional safety net, especially for individuals at higher risk due to family history or genetic factors. So knowing who can handle information and who can't, okay, it offers an additional safety net. So if your family history has these type of markers in the family and some people can't handle the fact that they don't want to talk about their health, or there's genetic factors that could be a very heavy contributor, and they don't want to be safe, let them go. I'ma cut it off. In the words of Deborah Morgan from Tony Braxton's Break My Heart Lifetime movie. And sometimes and sometimes in order to be all that you want to be, in the words of Jay Marsh, you gotta let go of what's holding you back. Can I get witness from the congregation in Jesus' name? Yes. Amen. AI, artificial intelligence, enhanced imaging improves accuracy and catches subtle abnormalities. Artificial intelligence systems are revolutionizing how radiologists analyze medical images. These advanced algorithms can detect subtle patterns in mammograms, CT scans, and MRIs that human eyes might miss, identifying potential tumors at smaller sizes in earlier stages. A breast cancer screening program in California implemented artificial intelligence assistance for mammogram analysis and saw a 20% increase in early stage cancer detection. The system flags rather suspicious areas for radiologist review, reducing false negatives while also decreasing false positives that lead to unnecessary biopsies and patient anxiety. AI technology proves especially valuable in lung cancer screening, where it can distinguish between benign nodules and potentially cancerous growths with remarkable accuracy. This precision helps doctors monitor suspicious findings more effectively while avoiding unnecessary interventions for harmless abnormalities. Liquid biopsy monitoring tracks treatment response and reoccurrence risk. Beyond initial diagnosis, liquid biopsy technology now enables ongoing cancer monitoring with minimal invasiveness. Patients in remission can undergo regular blood tests that can detect circulating tumor DNA, providing early warning if cancer returns before it becomes visible on imaging scans. This monitoring capability transforms post-treatment care. Instead of waiting for symptoms or relying solely on periodic scans, doctors can track molecular markers that indicate disease activity. When tests detect concerning changes, physicians can intervene earlier, often before cancer progresses significantly. One lung cancer survivor in Boston credited liquid biopsy with monitoring with catching her reoccurrence 8 months before it would have been detected through standard imaging. The early intervention allowed for targeted treatment that eliminated the cancer while it remained highly manageable. Enhanced colonoscopy techniques identify precancerous polyps more effectively. While colonoscopy remains the gold standard for colorectal cancer screening, technological improvements made the procedure more effective. High-definition imaging, narrowband illumination, and artificial intelligence assistance help gastroenterologists identify flat or subtle polyps that older equipment might miss. These enhanced techniques have increased adenoma detection rates. Sorry if I butchered that, y'all. Adenoma detection rates by approximately 30%, meaning doctors find and remove more precancerous growths before they develop into cancer. Some facilities now use computer-assisted detection systems that alert physicians to suspicious areas in real time during the procedure. The improvements in colonoscopy technology combined with earlier screening recommendations are now suggesting people begin screening at age 45 rather than 50, are expected rather to significantly reduce colorectal cancer deaths over the coming decades. Molecular biomarker tests, personalized screening schedules, and risk assessment. Advanced genetic and molecular testing allow doctors to identify individuals at advanced cancer risk and customize screening protocols accordingly. These tests elevate cancer risk and customize screening protocols accordingly. These tests analyze inherited genetic lifestyle factors and molecular markers to create personalized screening recommendations. Women with BRCA genetic mutations, for example, now receive specialized screening protocols, including earlier and more frequent mammograms plus MRI screenings. Similarly, people with Lynch syndrome undergo enhanced colorectal cancer surveillance starting at younger ages. This personalized approach ensures that high-risk individuals receive appropriate monitoring while preventing over-screening in low-risk populations. The strategy optimizes healthcare resources while providing each person with screening intensity matched to their actual risk level, making early detection accessible. As cancer screening technology continues advancing, medical professionals emphasize the importance of following recommended screening guidelines. While these innovations offer powerful new tools, they work best when combined with established screening practices and healthy lifestyle choices that reduce cancer risk overall. So I wanted to bring those two destinations to you about autism and this blood test, because at the beginning, middle, end of the day, all we have is each other, right? And I know since 2020, the world has been losing a lot. And whenever we hear information like this, first thing we think of, oh shit, is it me? Could it be me? Yeah. But if we stay still, be still, and move in that stillness and recognize that, hey, maybe this information is a tool to help me. Maybe you might have a family member that is overseas, right? Maybe you have a family member or a friend that is somewhere in America. Maybe they're serving our Army, Navy, Air Force, right? Or maybe you have a friend or family member that has a very high position that they don't really care about their, well, not to say that they don't care about their health, but it's not the top priority. Some of you caretakers and everybody in between, this information is a tool. Sometimes the best way to be supportive is by giving valuable information. That's why on Nickelodeon's All That there was a show. That's why reverse rewind it back. That's why on Nickelodeon's All That there was a segment called Vital Information. Even though it was a joke in every vital information segment, something was vital about that information. All right, y'all, let's continue on because we do have more Brainley's Virtual Tour Live coming up right from this space right here, right now. Simone Biles is being an entrepreneur. Let's talk about it. From Black Enterprise Magazine, blackenterprise.com. Here we go. Simone Biles debuts Taste of Gold, her first restaurant at Houston Airport. The Olympic champion launches her eatery at George Bush International Intercontinental Airport, rather. Olympic gymnast Simone Biles has entered the hospitality industry, opening her first restaurant inside Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport. The cafe named Taste of Gold opened on March 24th in Terminal A near Gate 8, A8, offering travelers a new dining option inspired by the athlete's record-breaking career. Okay, there we go. The venue reflects Biles' legacy, incorporating design elements. Amen, y'all. Give it a moment. There we go. Design elements that highlight her achievements in gymnastics. According to a release, the space features custom decor, including handcrafted art of gold accents that mirror details from her competition leotards. Multiple televisions are also installed throughout the restaurant, allow guests to watch live sports while dining. Biles said the project holds personal significance, especially given her frequent travel schedule. As a frequent traveler, I'm thrilled to partner with Athletic Playmaker Group to help create a place for people to relax and share meals during their travels through my hometown airport, she said in a statement as reported by People Magazine, People.com. She added that the restaurant is meant to welcome a wide audience. Give it a moment, y'all. Wide audience, saying whether you're a fan of gymnastics, football, or any sport, or just hungry for something yummy before or after your flight, I'd like to welcome you to Taste of Gold, the way fans have welcomed me into their hearts over my career. Amazing. So here's the menu, everybody. The menu includes a range of casual upscale options such as sandwiches, salads, and shareable plates. One feature item described as Biles' personal favorite is Simone's skewers, which comes with a choice of chicken, steak, shrimp, or vegetables. That at an airport? Okay, then I ain't mad at it. Desserts are also available for travelers looking for a quick treat. Biles celebrated the opening on social media, sharing photos from the launch event alongside her husband. Taste of Gold is now open in the George Bush. Let me make sure I'm reading that right. IAH Airport Terminal A, she wrote it, adding a separate post. I can't believe I have a freaking restaurant. And you do, my friend, and you do, and you do, and you do. The restaurant was developed in collaboration with Athlete Playmaker Group, a company known for partnering with professional athletes on dining concepts. Co-founder Derek Messino emphasized the importance of creating a sense of place within airport environments. Airports are the front door to a city, but too often feel interchangeable. He said, Taste of Gold supports Our goal of creating places that feel familiar and local without sacrificing quality, speed, or consistency. Houston airport officials also praised the addition of Francisco Silur, Chief Commercial Development Officer for Houston Airports, called the opening a defining moment for the airport's dining program. He noted, Taste of Gold captures Houston's spirit, excellence, energy, and ambition, and raises the bar for what passengers can expect when they travel through IAH. The restaurant is open daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., serving passengers throughout the day. Well, congratulations to Simone Biles. Shout out to that new restaurant, Taste of Gold, that is at the George Bush Intercontinental Airport, Gate A, near Gate A8. I was trying to get that right for y'all. So congratulations, Simone Biles. Anytime somebody's trying to do good in the neighborhood, you know we will always support that. Now, Don Lemon, we got to talk. We got to talk. And Stephen A. Smith said he wanted to run for president. Now, I said that Stephen A. Smith is the Kevin Hart of sports. He's a one-trick pony. You are not, sir. You have a lot more experience with the people. You understand the issues a lot more than Stephen A. Smith, okay? And you have more of a likable personality than Stephen A. But, sir, after the president put you and some other journalists in jail, I would think you would not want to run for president. Let's get to this one. God, why? Let's get to it, y'all. So from Deadline.com, Don Lemon considers presidential run. He thinks he can run this country better than 47. And yes, there are 16 comments. Child. A lot's happening in the world today, isn't it? Let's keep going. With the 2028 presidential election inching closer every day, and we are so looking forward to it. Don Lemon is the latest public figure to flirt with running for office. CNN alum recently teased it could happen as he feels confident he could definitely run this country better than 47, although Lemon is unsure about running as a Democrat. I've never said that I was going to grab anybody by the ussy. I never said that a woman had blood coming out of her wherever. But also, I'm not a white man, he explained on Pod Save America. The rules are different for me. Just like the rules, I believe, sadly, are different for women. They are different for Hillary Clinton, for Nikki Haley. So you bring her up with the comment you made on CNN this morning, I believe, when you said she was too old to run. But that's neither here nor there. They are different from Kamala Harris. I think at this point, we would gladly have Kamala Harris in the White House right now. I think a lot of people, and not to mention, too, there's a lot of people on the other side that's like, oh, my God, we really fucked over the country. And we in hell. And it's affecting my house. And the rest of us are like, we told you, nope, don't come cry me. Nope. Because some of those people are like, Tay T, you need to worry about yourself. Oh, we just tried to warn you. And now it's like, oh my God. Oh, somebody help me. I'm scared. No, keep that same energy. The hell? So telling you that something's a problem is a problem. But yeah, if it's a problem on your doorstep, you want us to broadcast it and help you out, invest in you. Okay, child. All right. Well, number love, grace, and space today, T. Okay. All right. Moving on. And white men get away with more than women or black people or any minority. Very factual. Lemon added, do I ever think about, oh, sorry, y'all. Lemon added, do I ever think about it? Yes. Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen if the right opportunity presented itself. I think I could be a president of the United States. I definitely could run this country better than 47. As an independent, though, there will be a hard time for me to run for anything because the way the system is set up, I have to choose a side, and so I'll probably will have to become a Democrat. Am I at that point now? No. Noted limit. I don't have the aspiration to become president, but I do think I can run this country better than 47. Lemon's latest interview comes after he pled not guilty following his January indictment for covering an anti-ICE protest at Minneapolis church. The events before my arrest and what happened since show that people are finally realizing what this administration is all about. Lemon told reporters after entering his plea, the process is the punishment with them. I will not be intimidated. I will not back down. I will fight these baseless charges, and I will not be silenced. Sparking free speech protests, Lemon and 8 others were indicted on charges of conspiracy against right of religious freedom at place of worship and another count of working to injure, intimidate, or interfere with the exercise the right of religious freedom at a place of worship. So what do I think about this destination? I've said this many times before. I'm gonna say it again. If I ever became president, which we all know ain't gonna happen because I actually give a damn against about people, I will shut down Washington and nobody will get a check until we figure out what's going on and fix this shit. Disrespectfully. Okay? Along with many more things. And y'all know I've always joked with y'all like there will be one conference on CNN and the other press conference will be on HBO. But sincerely, if I ever became president, my first order of business, and I know that this would cancel out a lot of family members and friends and everybody in between that would like to be president one day, but to be the president of the United States, okay? Because vice president, you don't get to really run for vice president. You should get picked, so that's a whole other thing. And by the way, there was a show on ABC called Designated Survivor where if the president is deleted, then that vice president automatically becomes the president of the United States. And then after that person becomes, deleted. Then, the vice president and the president, they each choose, one person. So if it's a Republican, they choose their Republican, understudy. And then if it's Democrat, they choose their Democrat understudy. So Designated Survivor is no longer on ABC, but it had Keith Sutherland from Fox's 24, and I believe it's on Hulu Disney Plus. A great show. But with that being said, my first order of business, in order to run for president of the United States, you have to have 5 to 7 years of government experience. You have to have 5 to 7 reference letters. We need a resume. We need a cover letter. And you guys submit to White House, whitehouseresume.gov, okay, or whitehousepressapp.gov. That should actually be the website. And then the people get the right. The people will have the right to either attend hearings in person or do this, call in virtually and ask questions. That's the first order of business. And I know my administration will be like, well, Mr. Lee, you know what that means after this administration. That means you're not going to be president anymore. I will gladly take the sacrifice. Give me a moment.
From action items to key decisions. And after every call, you get a clear summary. But where it really goes to the next level is that it's the only AI note taker that connects your meetings.
Champion shall have the honor, no, the privilege to go forth and rescue the lovely Princess Fiona from the fiery keep of the dragon. Shall have the honor, no, the privilege to go forth and rescue the lovely Princess Fiona from the fiery keep of the dragon. If, for any reason, the winner is unsuccessful, the first runner-up will take his place, and so on and so forth. Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Some of y'all may not become the president, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make if we cannot have the hell, if we can avoid the hell that we are having. Some of y'all may not become the president, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make sure we don't go through the hell we're going through now. Some of y'all may not ever become the president, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make sure we won't go through the hell we're going through now. Shout out to Lord Farquaad. By the way, somebody on Instagram pulled up a clip of 47 saying, if people, it's a noble sacrifice. And then they pulled up the Lord Farquaad clip and they were like, is 47 Lord Farquaad? It's like, hang on, Lord Farquaad is actually more beloved than 47. Let's not do that. But let's go back to the article because I want to read the 16 comments here. Let's see what the people have to say. I'd rather vote for 47. Honestly, Hail Mary, you told on yourself because as a Hail Mary, nobody would call. Low bar, Don. Well, he's not wrong. No thanks. Well, Don, most people can run the country better than 47, but I'm afraid you're not really qualified to do that. So stick to guerrilla journalists. Let's keep it going. This guy's too high on his own supply. If there are people in his life who really love him, they need to get his ego in check pronto. Agreed. Oh my. April Fools was yesterday. Fool you fooling fool. Fool you fooling you fools. An actual lemon could run this country better than 47. Rocco is a rock. Wait a minute, I just realized something. Rocco is 47, the rest of us are Elmo. That's what's going on. It took me a minute to figure out the metaphor for where the country is, but 47 is Rocco and we are Elmo. 47 is Rocco and we are Elmo, okay? Ignoring the fact that running the country better than 47 is the limbo lowest of bars, do we really need another conceited TV host in the White House? Yeah, I will say this. Don Lemon has credibility. Let's not reduce Don Lemon like that, but I do agree about the TV host. Do we need another one? And the words of Anonymous. Dear God, no, the words of Michael Scott. No! God, please, no! 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 Oh my God. Okay. Unplugged toaster can run the country better than 47. That's not saying a whole lot. Going back to Clinton, 47 is the best president of my lifetime. That's probably somebody who's closer to the casket to die than the cradle start life to becoming something important to the country. All right, moving on. Best at destroying American democracy. You know that is absolutely not true. Stop being very silly. You do realize that this is an extremely common sentiment among those of us born after 1990, right? So those are all the comments. Don, I love you, brother, but it's a no. Just stick to what you do, and you do it very well, all right? So speaking of what people do well and what they don't do well, I saw this story this past weekend. I saw this destination around this past weekend. And I had to come to talk to y'all about it because when y'all see the video and what the joke was really about, oh my God, let's talk about it. Okay, there we go. All right, we're here. So from NBCNews.com, composer behind Lion King opening vocal sues comedian for $27 million. $27 million. I say $27 million here. Over Circle of Life joke. Lebohang Morale, the Grammy-winning South African composer behind the song's opening vocals, filed a federal civil complaint against Lemoy Jamasi. So, so everybody knows that iconic or that black conic opening, right? Let's get into this because when y'all hear this lawsuit, y'all be like, I know you lied. Let's get to it. And by the way, this happened on Jeffrey and the Akbar. I can't remember the brother's name, but he was on the Talk of American Ninja Wars. So they have a podcast together. Let's keep going. Oh my God. A South African comedian is being sued for $27 million over a viral joke that mistranslated the iconic Circle of Life chant in Disney's The Lion King. If you all remember, we talked about this with Just Hilarious because she brought up the chant to Charlemagne the Guy, the DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne the Guy was like, "Why do I need to know that?" So here we go. Lebohang Mokhe, the Grammy-winning South African composer behind the film's opening Zula vocals, filed a federal civil complaint in California on March 16th against the comedian Lemoy Jamasi, alleging the translation was false and damaging to his life's work. Sir Lebohang Moreki, I'm gonna tell you right now, the joke was not even that bad, bro. Y'all want to see it? I promise you, what the president, his administration, his supporters are doing to the country is way worse than what that comedian did to you. And for 20, bruh, for you to be a Grammy-winning South African composer, you must not be doing good in your life. You got to sue for $27 million damn dollars. But let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. Let's keep it going. Janasi, whose legal name is Learn More McKenna, could not immediately be reached for comment on Friday. No attorney information was listed for him. In a GoFundMe campaign he launched to cover legal fees, Janasi filed a lawsuit unjust by Friday afternoon. The campaign had raised more than $16,000. Disney did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Last month, Janasi appeared on the 154 Africa podcast where the host sang the chant and asked him what it meant. You said nothing, Janasi replied, and then sang the chant himself, offered his own translation. It means, look, there's a lion, oh my God. That literally all that was. Look, there's a lion, oh my God. Look, there's a lion, oh my God. Now, what in that is damaging to your life work? I mean, good God. Now, if he were to really drag it, then I could see it. But come on now. Really, I mean, this is as bad as when Disney actually did this. And I was saddened, ashamed, and disgusted by Disney's behavior. So there was a young man who passed away. I believe it's to cancer. And the family wanted the tombstone to just have the Spider-Man character and under that his name, because that was his favorite character. And Disney blocked the family from having Spider-Man on the tombstone. But if you know Spider-Man, he relates to that very well because it's Uncle Ben, right? And so Disney went through the fire and they said, okay, we can send a hand-drawn sketch. You're just as bad as Disney, bro. And Disney did that to a child, and their audience is children. What the hell? What the ish? What the uck? Moving on. Moked, known professionally as Lebohang, contends in his lawsuit that the chant Nantes Oenya Bati Baba actually means all hail the king, we bow in the presence of the king. Now, listen, okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all. When I watched it in the 90s, I did not know what it meant, but that's because I was a child. You know that statement, stay in the child's place. I was in a child's place, okay, along with the rest of us who watched it. But if we look at the joke, look, there's a lion, oh my God. All hail the king, we bow in the presence of the king. A lion is usually the king and the queen of the pack of lions, right? So look, there's a lion, oh my God. So like, it really wasn't that far off, but it wasn't that bad of a joke. You know what the president said one time? He said he could pass about in the middle of Fifth Avenue and get away with it. And the FCC did not fine him for that at all. But everybody freaked out, or the rest of the other side freaked out when Barack Obama wore a tan suit. Sir, and the composer is black, yes. Sir, shut up, roll over, and take it. That was not that bad of a joke. He filed the suit in the U.S. District Court for the Central District, California, where he maintains a residence. The lawsuit describes the chant as royal praise poetry written in Itzi Zula and Itzi Hosa. Although it's featured in the Circle of Life, the lawsuit says it stands independently as an African vocal proclamation grounded in South African tradition. The lawsuit acknowledges that Oenya can translate to lion in Zulu. I'm going to read that two more times. The lawsuit acknowledges Oenya can translate to lion in Zulu. The lawsuit acknowledges that Oenya can translate to lion in Zulu. Let's go back up a little bit. Look, there's a lion. Oh my God. Look, there's a lion. Oh my God. Look, there's a lion. Oh my God. You owe him $27 million, sir. That's what you owe him. Because in the lawsuit, it says that it can mean lion in Zulu. What are we doing here? But that's not the end of this destination. Let's keep going. Let's see here. But contends in the tradition of praise amongi and royal metaphor aenya or ainga signifies kingship. The suit calls Jonasi's translation a sick joke. A sick joke. You know what a sick joke was? When the baby oil was being squirted and spreaded and, thrown everywhere outside of the courthouse at the end of P. Diggs' trial. That was a sick joke. This is not a sick joke. Sir, I'm going to need you to get your funny meter checked, regulated, and leveled. Okay? That's instructed to Moriki's artistic work. It also says that the podcast appearance wasn't framed as a stand-up set or comedy special. Comedians go on podcasts all the time. So when Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay, that wasn't a stand-up set or a comedy special. What? Do you not know Trevor Noah? He's from South Africa. What the? It be our own people sometimes. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. That's why I want to ask Issa Rae, when you say you root for everybody black, does that include Amanda Seales or no? Moving on. Defendant did not frame this as a joke in delivery. The lawsuit says the defendant presented it as factual knowledge with misguided authenticity to increase exposure and mockery of Lebo's creative masterpiece. Well, actually, if you think about The Lion King, it has been gifted meme for years now. Like this. Yes. Look beyond what you see. There's been so many. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Moving on. The lawsuit goes on to cite, right here, misguided authenticity to increase exposure and mockery of Lebo M's creative masterpiece. The lawsuit goes on to cite social media comments where people said they believe Jonasi's translation, with some describing it as having ruined their childhood. Oh my God, y'all. Disney, for those of you who don't know, on the VHS cover, when VHS was a thing, there was a cream stick on the Little Mermaid VHS cover. Oh my, that's a real thing. Yo, listen, I need Lebohang M to bring these people who said their childhood's been ruined to the trial. This should be thrown out. Actually, no, it should not be thrown out. You owe him $27 million. You should lay their rollover and take it and be grateful. Anybody knows of your works, your existence, or the entity of who the ish you are. So now 154 Africa has host declined to comment on the lawsuit. Now they have recently put out a new episode responding. Okay, so I did see that this morning. I was doing research on this destination. According to the suit, Moringe messaged Jonasi on Instagram and told him his comment about the chant crossed the line was insult to African culture. It said the comedian responded and said that it was unfortunate that you see this way, that he's been performing the joke for 8 years. Jonasi acknowledged in a March 13th video statement that he had a conversation about Moringe about the chant. This was just a joke. Comedy always has a way of starting conversation. I told him this. This is now your chance to actually educate people because now people are listening. I was even ready to create a video with him, to be honest. He said, personally, I had no idea it had deeper meaning. The suit notes that Jossie recently performed the joke in Los Angeles to a standing ovation. So other people have the capacity, capability, and comprehension of brain cells for former brain to get that, hey, listen, not everything has to be so serious. Instagram video the comedian posted on Tuesday where he was served with Murphy's lawsuit while performing on stage. So now we're going to go to a Tozy, who's got more intel on this. Let's go.
This comedian just got served a $27 million lawsuit while performing live. And it all started with a Lion King joke. I mean, honestly, that might be one of the craziest ways I've ever found out someone's been sued for, 8 figures. But here we are. We have essentially a comedian on stage, mid-set, crowd's laughing, everything's normal. I guess everything was just going as planned until someone walks up and hands him some legal papers for a $27 million lawsuit. And now I'm speaking from experience. Being served is terrifying. Hands down, one of the worst things to go through. But just like me being served, this was also caught on film.
I was less fortunate. What is this? What is this? Service. Oh, just got served. Oh.
I mean, to do this during his...
Oh my God. You just...
I mean, mid-set is a crazy way to serve him, but I guess they knew he would be there. But this guy was performing at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles, and instead of, finishing his bit, he's suddenly trying to process the fact that he's being dragged into federal court.
For those who are wondering what this is for, I did a joke about the Lion King. I don't know, you saw it? That was me, yeah.
There's a lion. Oh my God.
I'm paying for that now. This is the...
You gotta laugh about it. You gotta laugh about it. You gotta laugh about it.
And later on, he made a comment about the whole thing, saying that he now has gluten allergy, anxiety, and he got served. I'm now American. Honestly, welcome. Let's see. So I moved back to the States in 2018, and it took me 4 years being in the U.S. to get sued. So he might have me beat. I don't know how long he's been here. Not like I want to make being sued a speed runnable event. That just sounds miserable. But here we are. And regardless, I mean, his comment is funny, but also he got hit with a 20.
And by the way, to the composer, you do realize, everybody who has the right to talk about this because it's free speech, you do realize there'll be a lot of lawsuits. So you really, in the words of DJ Khaled, hashtag congratulations, you played yourself. Let's continue.
$27 million lawsuit in front of a live audience. Again, this is a nightmare. And all of this, again, started just because of a Lion King joke. So Janasi here made an appearance on 154 Africa podcast. And during that conversation, the host brought up the Lion King, specifically the opening chant, which is, the one that everyone recognizes.
Can you do that? Yeah, I can do it.
Do it.
So you sing it like, Dancing Gonya Magiti Baba.
You were way off.
Ingonyama.
All right. What does it mean?
It means, look, there's a lion. Oh my God.
And you see the laughter right there from
that is not what that means.
That's exactly what it means.
That's what it means. Look, there's a lion.
Oh my God.
Look, there's a lion.
And that's the brother.
Oh my God.
It's a lion.
It was a joke.
Whether that was delivered as a joke or came across as a serious translation is where everyone is a little bit divided. Because from one perspective, it was clearly funny. But I guess from another perspective, it was a public statement about a culturally significant piece of music presented in a way that some argue blurred the line between humor and effect. And I guess that's what turned a quick podcast moment into a $27 million legal fight. Because on March 16th, Lebohang Morake, known professionally as Lebohang, and I guess he's a known composer behind the chant, he filed a lawsuit in federal court in California seeking $27 million in damages. And I honestly can't get over how high that number is. Bro showed up to a podcast and essentially because of something he said on the podcast, which really wasn't even that bad, caused $27 million in damages? How? But I guess, okay, so the complaint says that the translation was incorrect, but also that it had been said in a way that crossed a line, and the lawsuit described Genassi's version as a fabricated, trivializing distortion. I'm actually kind of interested in seeing how far off he is, if he was even off to begin with. I just don't see him translating this song or chant as being that damaging. Even like, because like what he said wasn't that crazy. Like, look, there's a lion. Oh, it's a lion. Like, that's not damaging. What? Like, even if it's a little bit wrong, I just can't see how this is damaging. But I guess it's also argued that the joke was presented as authoritative fact, not comedy. I don't know. It seems like the dude was just kind of doing a bit about it. I feel like the thing about this is such a Streisand effect, because even by him doing that bit on the podcast, I don't think anyone really thought anything negative about the guy who made the chant or song. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, that was the translation of it. Regardless, it's iconic. But now the dude who created this iconic chant just comes across as a massive scumbag. Every time I'm going to hear this chant now, I'm going to go, oh, that's that scumbag who sued a comedian because he vaguely translated the chant. Like, this just does not make sense. This lawsuit is so much more damaging to his career than a guy showing up on a podcast and loosely translating it, even though if it wasn't word for word correct. And the filing also says the lyrics are rooted in Zulu translation and work as a form of royal praise. So it's not meant to be taken as a literal narration kind of thing. His interpretation of the chant is
That's not the translation, y'all. But as we just read from that NBC News article, Nanoenga, or the other version of that word, can translate to lion in Zulu. So it cancels the lawsuit automatically in my eyes. If I was a judge, you are going to give him $27 million, and then you're going to give him an additional $27 million so he can give back to his community. So how much is that? Let's add that up. Because if I was a judge, this is how much that composer would be paying this man. So he would be paying. You would be paying that man $54 million if I was the damn judge and would not care how you would have to pay it. Continue.
That wasn't his interpretation. We got pollen season going on. His interpretation of the chant is, all hail the king, we all bow down in the presence of the king. So, I mean, yeah, that is different from, look, there's a lion. And I guess the lawsuit argued that making a joke out of the translation could negatively affect both his reputation and the value of the work, including royalties tied to the song. And apparently there's a lot of royalties since he's asking for $27 million following that lawsuit. So, yeah. But following this lawsuit, Genassi made it clear that he intended to actually fight this case. And in a statement shared through a GoFundMe campaign created to cover his legal expenses, he described the situation as overwhelming, writing, "I am reaching out during one of the most difficult moments of my life. I was recently hit with a $27 million lawsuit. What started as a bit of humor has escalated into a devastating legal battle." Okay, question. Does anyone out here speak Zulu? If so, please let me know in the comments below what the correct translation of this text actually is. But back to the story, Genassi went on to explain the cost of defending himself was beyond his financial means. Obviously, defending yourself in a lawsuit, especially a federal lawsuit in the United States, is not cheap. Again, I am speaking from experience here. I was sued by a guy who, from what I heard, just wanted to bleed me for as much money as possible. So the legal counsel I was talking to were saying, hey, this could be on the light side, 300 grand, and it could easily go up to $1 million or maybe more, depending on how many appeals. And I'm sitting there like, oh, yeah, no, that YouTube video definitely cost me a few years of my life. Thankfully, you guys bailed me out. We all resolved it, and I ended up returning everyone's money because we didn't go to court. So my costs were very small in comparison to what I thought it was going to be. But I am now extremely interested in this case, and I hope that this guy drops the case against Genassi because, come on, we can't be suing people for making jokes. And Janasi also said the translation was always meant as a joke, and he also suggested that the attention from his podcast appearance has done the opposite of hurting the song. Instead, he said it has revived people's interest in it, which I actually agree with. I didn't think anything negative of the song or the chant after hearing Janasi's version of the translation, but now I'm thinking negative about the song or chant after the guy sued Janasi. So at this point, I mean, the case is split into two completely different narratives, with one of them saying, hey, this is harmful, and the other one saying, it was a joke, this is protected comedy. And this whole legal battle has now just started, and it seems like it's more about something personal than about the joke, I guess.
When this man first approached me, he approached me with the attitude of saying that I am disrespecting his work. And I was like, no, actually, I'm a big fan of yours. This was just a joke. And comedy has always had a way of starting a conversation. Like I told him, this is now your chance to actually educate people because now people are listening. I was actually ready to even create a video with him. Like we can actually create a video together, and after we laugh, then we can. Personally, I had no idea that it had a deeper meaning. But then the moment he called me a self-hating, that's when everything changed for me. I realized that I'm not having a conversation with somebody that actually wants to do that. This person is literally not attacking the joke, but my character.
Yeah, so from there, any possibility of resolving this outside of court might have disappeared. This does not look good. As this case picked up attention, though, things got even more confusing because at one point, a statement made by Lebohang's team said they were trying to handle this privately because they said they'd reached out to Janasi and even brought in someone to help both sides talk through things. And the message made it sound like they wanted to calm things down and actually find a solution without going to court. Now, that's a little bit vague, and I'm not sure what that actually means. Does that mean they're trying to shake him down for some money? I don't know. But then, just a few days later, a completely different statement came out, and now it's telling a completely different story. So this time, Lebohang's team said they'd made several attempts to resolve this issue privately, but those efforts were ignored. And they claimed that instead of working out things behind the scenes, Janasi continued to publicly respond. Again, I'm completely speculating here. I have no idea what's going on, but could that be because they may have been trying to shake him for some money? I don't know. But a spokesperson said Lebohang has consistently chosen dignity over noise. However, the continued refusal to engage in constructive discussions leaves us with no alternative but to proceed through formal legal channels. They also suggested the public back and forth was an attempt to shape how people saw this case instead of letting it play out in court. So now we have two very different versions of what happened. One version said both sides were trying to talk things out, and the other one said those talks were ignored. And now it's going to court. I do have a question though. If Lebo is saying that Janasi is disrespecting his work, isn't he disrespecting Janasi's work by trying to sue him during a live show? Like, this just doesn't make sense. Anyway, though, where does this leave the case? Well, at this point, the whole situation comes down to one big question. Was this clearly a joke, or was it presented like real fact? Because that's what this case is going to be about, unfortunately. On one side, you have Lebohang's team saying that the translation wasn't just wrong, it was harmful. They said it was shared in a way that made people believe it was true and that it disrespected the cultural meaning behind the chant. They also claim it could hurt the value of the song and the reputation tied to it. But then on the other side, Janasi says this was always comedy. He's been performing this joke for years and that he believes.
Y'all, that would be me like saying Tasha K got held back in the 9th grade 3 times, but then when you go back through her history, she actually said out her mouth. So can Tasha K sue me? No, she can't because she said it. Come on now.
He believes people understood it as humor. He also argues that it actually brought more attention to the song, not less. But then you have the big issue at stakes here because, you know, comedy is protected in general. Jokes and satire are usually not treated as facts, but that protection depends on whether a normal person would understand it as a joke or not. So, oh boy, this is going to turn into a legal minefield, I feel like. So if the court decides most people would take this as obvious comedy, then the case would fall apart. But if the court agrees that it sounded like a real translation or something people might actually believe, then it could definitely become a serious problem for Janasi. Still, is that problem worth $27 million? No. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But either way, Janasi seems to be doing what he can to fight this. At least it seems that way between the GoFundMe for his defense and the fact that, you know, he's using the line for his comedy promotions on Instagram. And honestly, I mean, I don't know if that's going to help his case or not, but it's entertaining. Also, he's selling merch. So, yeah, this will be really interesting to see how it all goes. If you want my take on it, it seems like the guy who made the chant is kind of coming across as a bully here, but what do I know? I've only experienced something similar here, except, I don't know. I guess the situations aren't that similar, because essentially I went, hey, yeah, this guy scammed his audience, and then he went, no, I didn't, and then sued me. This guy went, hey, the chant says, look, there's a lion, and the guy went, no, it doesn't say that. It's a Zulu chant. I'm suing you for $27 million. And he went, uh-oh. I think that was maybe a gross misrepresentation. Regardless, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like on this video. We will definitely be following this case, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Thanks, Satoshi. Good to see you, good sir. All right, y'all. Our last destination, y'all, Carlos King. So as y'all know, Married to Medicine just wrapped, and Carlos King did an interview with Quad. So we're going to now go to Show Styles and Spirit. Like, comment, share, subscribe to that beautiful sister, but also do somebody else that you may know. Mess with Colonel Sanders, Tamar Braxton's ex-husband, Tommy. And that also is dating a 21-year-old Solange Knowles' son. Yeah, that Tommy. Let's go to it.
And I want to talk about Quad from Married to Medicine. Her ex-boyfriend King is calling out Carlos King's journalism skills at the same time where he is saying that Quad is lying during her latest
You a lie. You a cheat.
And
I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't
over
want
to
you.
Carlos
That's what
King's
King is saying.
Instagram page just to see if he had some sort of response. And what I ended up finding was a clip of his series that he does with Lisa Ray on his YouTube channel. And Tommy from Love and Hip Hop is in the comment section, and she's calling out the journalism skills as well. And Tommy from Love and Hip Hop, she is the last person that you want to tick off. So before we get into what King and Tommy had to say, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these clips, they are allowed. Okay, so where King gets activated, this is coming from the Bravo Shade Room. They actually have a clip from Dr. Heavenly and Quad's interview with Carlos King. And King is going to call out Quad for lying. And then Carlos is going to catch a stray. So let's get right on it.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Quad and King did date. But by the time the reunion came on, part 2, they were no longer together. And King has said some things on social media. Quad has not. So this is basically her first time saying anything. And, you know, Contessa and Toya were still talking to King. And Contessa said, you did not want him here. That means that Quad did not want King at the reunion. So that's the context, conjecture, and connection there. Let's get to it.
On into it.
When was the last time that Kirk has reached out to you?
It was recent. Very recent. Maybe a few days ago.
Saying what?
I don't. I don't. Here, I don't indulge. Listen,
did you respond back?
I don't indulge. You know, here's the thing. I'm all in when I'm all in.
When was the last time that Kirk had? Did you respond back?
I don't indulge. You know, here's the thing. I'm all in when I'm all in. I'm so in. I'm so in when I'm all in. Sometimes I can even be blinded that I'm so in. So when I'm all out, when I'm out, kind of all out.
Did you call it quits first?
It was mutual. It was a mutual situation. And when we go back to saying, what was that? Luck ran out. I never worry about luck. Again, like I said earlier, I'm not lucky. I'm blessed. So I don't never worry about luck. So
did you respond back?
Okay, so let's get into what King had to say. He typed, "Stop lying. I asked to end the relationship and haven't had a need to contact you. Stop trying to make yourself look good. These curated interviews and PR stunts are laughable. You have them in a controlled environment with your friends, not with a real journalist that will question you. The performance goes on. And no, it wasn't mutual or amicable. That was another performance and PR stunt. So I have to wonder, is it really King who is typing up these responses on social media, or is it the new woman that's probably in his life? And number two, it's just giving like real sassy and like catty vibes. Like you just have to say something. You have to let everyone know that you broke up with her, you dumped her. And it just comes off like you have to try and embarrass her. I can't stand a man who's just like on that energy where he's trying to embarrass the woman, wants her to feel shamed or feel low or feel bad. Because God forbid you have a healthy amount of self-confidence and you know your worth. They have to try and, burst your bubble. That's what they're hoping for.
Okay, so let's talk about it, right? I agree and disagree with Show Styles and Spirit. And by the way, like, comment, share, subscribe to her. She is amazing, 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 amazing. I will agree and disagree, right? I will agree that this does come across sassy, right? However, right, if Quad has the right to speak, does it King as well? Now, a man never has to embarrass a woman at all, right? But what we also cannot do is negate the embarrassing behavior she exhibited in the relationship. Let me say that on the big screen 2 more times. What we cannot negate is the potentially embarrassing behavior that she did in the relationship. If he did embarrassing behavior, so can the woman. If he did embarrassing behavior, so can the woman. If he did embarrassing behavior, so can the woman. And let's talk about Chili and Nick Cannon. So remember when, Chili said that she accidentally reposted a conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama was a man, that she, didn't know who she was contributing to. And then T-Boss said, my teammate, my band member voted for him, right? And then it was more leaking. And then Salt chimed in, right? And then we had Nick Cannon, Amber Rose, that interview to the point where that he got too much, and then Nick Cannon had to pull down the interview. I brought up a conversation about Sharif Rogers and Nick Cannon, right? Here's the the God, darling, to show Styles and Spirit to everybody in play. Do you get big mad at the message, or do you get big mad at the messenger delivering the message? Because here's the thing. If a man, right, and I'm equal opportunity, if a man is attacking the issue or the issues that the woman did wrong in the relationship, is he really wrong? Because women have the right to attack the issues that the man did in the relationship. Now, I don't think that King is wrong by saying Carlos King is not a journalist. Now, Carlos King did go to college for journalism. But as we have seen in the media, entertainment, and content landscape, what a journalist has evolved. I did a whole live on it, comparing myself and Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan is a journalist. I'm a content creator. Journalists broadcast what people could be curious about. Content creators reflect what people are embracing. Journalists broadcast what people could be curious about. Content creators reflect what people embrace. Journalists broadcast what people could be curious about, rather, and content creators reflect what people embrace. If there is anything going on outside of media, entertainment, and content, right? Nobody in the midnight hour, in the noon hour, or after hours. What cannot, will not, and will never call Carlos King to go on ABC News and be a voice of reason for the nation to understand what the hell is going on in the country. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. In the past, present, or afterlife, right? So I don't think King is wrong. Number two, Carlos King and Quad are friends, right? So of course it's easier to do an interview with a friend because there's a comfortability there. And your friend can protect you, cover you, and can provide that shade in a fashion where they don't get no smoke. Because we all saw what happened to Portia Williams on Tamron Hall. Portia Williams got big mad because Tamron Hall held her feet to the fire, right? Let's keep going. Nothing but love to Ebony. Like, comment, share, subscribe to Show Styles and Spirit. Here we go. Look at how the sun just came upon me. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Hang on. We're going to bounce out here in a minute. There I am. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Let's continue.
So that's what this is giving. Now, are Dr. Heavenly and Quad, are they friendly? Are they friends with Carlos? Yes, they are. Now, Carlos, he has a large platform. He has had his podcast for years. Do I think that it's normal for him to ask them for an interview? They're on a popular reality TV show. Yeah, I think that's normal. I think the coincidence is that they are friends. Similarly, Funky Dineva has a large platform. What if he decided to interview them? They're friends as well. So what, they're friends with large platforms are just not supposed to interview them? That's ridiculous.
I agree with that.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, not with a real journalist that will question you. Well, I mean, King.
That's factual.
As far as Carlos's questions, I don't think that he really creates an environment where he goes in. Does he ask some direct questions? For sure. I remember when Carlos interviewed Drew Sidora and he asked her about her dealings with Ty Young. She wasn't comfortable. She was like, I just wasn't. She even said she wasn't comfortable with doing things, but he had to get her to say that. She tried to say something that was very like PG. And then Carlos said, well, did you two do anything, physical or anything that was like of affection? I'm paraphrasing. And that's when she said, we did some things. I wasn't comfortable doing other things, so he will kind of prod if someone is like, avoiding the real question, avoiding the answer to give. So I don't think that's totally, accurate.
But
all Carlos asked was, has he heard from you? And she said yes.
King got the right to
Why would Quad have to lie about that? She could have just said, no, I don't hear from him. But, somebody's lying because King said that he hasn't had a need to contact her. All I'll say is, King, if you got an iPhone and you think you can delete the text messages, if Quad has
Black
MacBook,
women are the
and I'm sure she
FBI.
has it all connected to her
God,
iPhone,
they are.
even if you delete those texts from you and Quad's text thread, that MacBook is like a cash register and it's just going to have every single receipt. Even if you delete it from your cell phone, it's already in a text thread if she has a MacBook. So, but somebody is lying. Because Quad says she heard from you recently, and you're saying that you haven't had a need to contact her, but maybe there was a want to contact her. But she said that she doesn't indulge. She didn't explicitly say no, she did not respond to you, but I'm guessing she didn't respond to you because I feel like your caption would have said, I text you and you text right back. Or, you sent me a picture. So it's giving, you probably have tried to get back like that Jaheim song and she's been ignoring you. But oh my gosh, Carlos totally caught astray. But let me know in the comments, do you think that because Carlos King is friends with Dr. Heavenly and Quad, that equates to not real journalism because they're friends?
I believe it could.
But Oprah Winfrey has interviewed lots of people that she's friends with. She's friends with Maria Shriver, from the Kennedy family. And lots of other
But Maria
people that she
Shriver has
is
a
friends
longer
with.
resume.
So I think
has
that's
a
I think
longer
that's
body of
fine.
work,
You're not supposed to
and she
interview your
has,
friends if
you know,
they're popular, if they're famous, if they're
stronger
public
Carlos
figures.
King.
That doesn't make sense to me. And if anything, if we're honest, that's like the plug. Hello. So let's go ahead and check out his Instagram. Okay. So I want to show you all this clip with him and Lisa Ray.
Lisa Ray can hold her own talk show. She don't really need to be with Carlos.
And then we're going to get into what Tommy had to say in the comment section.
section.
You know, it's something about
Why that
clips on
collaboration is
Instagram and the blogs. The comment section sometimes is more detailed than the story, definitely more entertaining if it's like a funny story.
Mhm.
But let's
I
go
agree.
ahead and get into it.
What is happening to Solange's 21-year-old son? Joel Smith was recently seen out with Tommy Lee. She's 41, he's 21. There's a video of them kissing, making out.
We'll say this, Solange will probably approach this in a way in which this does not and should not come between her and her son. Because if you try to bark too loud, that he might just go in that direction, period. You know, I will say this, at 21 and at her age, what's the chances of it lasting? I think not. You know, I think that he has so much more of the world to see.
Lisa Ray
and I
needs
think
her
that,
own
you know,
talk show.
she
She don't have to
probably
be
would
with
want
Carlos.
somebody that's
She
more
needs her own talk show.
experienced.
She does not have to be with
You know,
Carlos King.
I think that maybe perhaps she's having some fun. It seemed like she was not as concealed, you know what I mean? I don't know if she had a drink or two, you know what I mean? But it seems like she...
Because here's the gag. You ready for this? Carlos King needs Lisa Ray more than Lisa Ray needs Carlos King. Carlos King needs Lisa Ray more than Lisa Ray needs Carlos King. Carlos King needs Lisa Ray more than Carlos King needs Lisa Ray more than Lisa Ray needs Carlos King. Because like I said before, have y'all noticed anytime Carlos does anything on YouTube, he can never hold his own? Ever. He's always got to be connected to somebody in order to be a somebody. He's always got to be connected to somebody in order to be a somebody. He's always got to be connected to somebody in order to be a somebody. And we all know Reality with the King is just Nightcap with Carlos King remixed. Okay? Nightcap with Carlos King failed on the Oprah Winfrey Network to try to come back with Reality with the King specials. And then somehow Charlamagne the God believed that that platform deserved a space, a voice, and to be elevated with Charlamagne the God. I just want you to know, you're with a lie, a cheat, and I promise you, you ain't gonna want him, you ain't gonna want him, you ain't gonna want him no more. But you're gonna have to learn the hard way. Child, I mean, just, you wanna learn reality TV from him, but Will Packer is a $1 billion box office director. Child, let's roll on. And not to mention, too, Will Packer produced Queen's Court that Lisa Ray was on Bravo and Peacock. But hey, listen, Charlamagne the God's a smart one. Let's continue.
like she's having a good time. It seems like, hey, you know, whatever. And when that takes over and that happens, then you might get a little wild. But I don't know a lot about her. The things that the backstory that I have heard about her was that she was on Baddies and that she has, you know, I don't know how many kids. And I want to say that I think I heard that she is trying to get custody of her kids. So that means that she lost them. I don't know how. I heard that she's been to jail, but haven't some of us all. I've heard that she likes to fight, but hey, if you got to fight, she got hands, you know what I mean? As a mom, do you want your child to be with the best representation of a lady? Someone that you can, you know, live a life with and grow with? Yeah, you want that. Do you want someone that has so much of a reputation? I think.
Now, do you see how Lisa Ray is holding her own? Because she has that wisdom, she's got that sauce, and she understands the totality of who she is. You see, Carlos ain't adding nothing because he has nothing to contribute. Can you imagine if Carlos King was your uncle? Imagine Carlos King being your dad, and he produces chaos, strife, and misery on reality TV, and you expect your Uncle Carlos King to help you? I would rather trust Lisa Ray McCoy in the foxhole before Carlos King. And the gag is nobody in the industry elevates him. The gag is nobody ever sees him at the Emmys, the Grammys, the Oscars, or the Tonys. But most of all, you don't really hear Carlos King working with a lot of networks, do you? And I don't want to hear, well, you don't know what Carlos is working on. I know that what you do in secret, God will bless you publicly. But usually there's a consistency of what you do behind the scenes that when it comes out publicly, the public agrees with it. And that doesn't happen with Carlos King. Let's continue.
I think not. However, change is real. You know what I mean? Things can change. I don't know how long ago those things that I just mentioned had happened to her, because she could be a whole different person now. I don't know. Is this what you meant for the public to see and to know? Is this a setup? You know, was this something to get your name out there or to have people to talking? I don't think that she's short of having people talk about things that she's done before. You know, I don't know if she's always in the press or not. This right here is nothing new, meaning an age gap. Age gap has been happening forever. It's just been more happening prevalent with men, with younger women, and him taking her and saying, come on, let's start a family.
Excellent commentary, Felicia.
What is happening?
Okay, so let's get into what Tommy had to say. Now, what triggered Tommy is Lisa Ray said that she thought that Tommy had to like get her kids back, so she must have lost them. And I remember on Love and Hip Hop, because Tommy was on Love and Hip Hop like seasons,
in an interview
like
with,
6, 7, like 6 and 7, or 5, 6 and 7. And she had like her oldest daughter, and then she has 2 daughters. So maybe like one was like elementary school and the other one was like middle school, almost high school. And then remember around 2020, the year of Carnival 19, Tommy was about to be a grandma. Her oldest daughter was pregnant and she was a teenager. So that young lady would be like in her early 20s now. And then so her daughter, that was like in elementary, kind of like middle school, by now she's probably like a young adult as well, her baby. And her baby daughter, Tommy, remember Tommy's baby girl took like a gummy to school. And it was a huge mess. And Tommy like went to jail. And then Tommy used to go to jail a lot. And she used to have a goal to like go a complete year without going to jail. And I know that may sound like, oh my gosh, she can't go a year without going to jail. But yeah, that was a goal for her at once. So if you watch Love and Hip Hop all these years, you know. But here is what Tommy had to say. She said, never lost custody of my kids. I raised them on my own, although they have present fathers. I wish people wouldn't speak unless they actually cared about the topic enough to have facts. Speaking on things that's trending with no real facts is careless journalism. Okay, and then.
Now, Tommy Lee, I'm going to just say this right damn now. If the fate of the world's on the line, laser beam on the globe, and the alien said, we got to sacrifice one of you to save the world, we would sacrifice you and keep Lisa Ray McCoy. Understand? That's non-negotiable. Nobody would stop us from giving you to the aliens. You are not that powerful. You are just as powerful as Natalie Nunn, which ain't really saying anything because she shit her damn self, just like you are. And number 3, Lisa Ray McCoy actually gave you a lot of love, grace, and space, right? So that's the thing that you can't really get upset about. You can't get upset about the history that you've made for yourself, and then people are recollecting your history. If you want people to tell a better history of you, you need to create a better history. In the words of Cat Williams, if you want me to tell people about the history between you and me, you should have treated me better. Like what it is, cuz, what's up with you, mad? Let's continue.
And it's pretty much like other people in the comments. I don't think Carlos dared to reply to Tommy. Totally don't blame him. And then she said, it's cool to say, I don't know, and move on to what you do know. So, because Carlos posed
do you do
the
the
question,
same,
what's
Tommy
going
Lee?
on with Solange's son,
just
Jules,
determined that was a
and
lie.
Tommy from Love and Hip Hop dating. She's 41, he's 21. And then, so Tommy is saying Lisa Ray could have said, well, I don't really know her, but I think the age gap is a lot. I'm sure it won't last. He has lots of life ahead of him. He'll want to date all sorts of women. She'll probably be looking for something more permanent in terms of a relationship. I'm sure it's just a fling. She could have said something like that, very general in terms of a May-December match. She didn't have to go into what she thought she knew about Tommy and her kids. So I'm on Tommy's side. Then Tommy writes, my name is out there, babes, against my will. Y'all just will not stop. So that's not the case, shaking my head. Now, I will say this. While I think that King was probably a little more unfair with Carlos, saying that, it wasn't real journalism because he's friends with Quad and Dr. Heavenly, I will say in this instance, I'm totally on Tommy's side. I don't know if Carlos doesn't know anything about Tommy or if he forgot those older seasons of Love and Hip Hop, because he could have corrected Lisa and have said, I don't remember ever hearing that she lost her kids. And I remember when they were younger, she had them on Love and Hip Hop. Because there was a scene that Tommy filmed at one of those, the trampoline parks, with this Asian woman, the Asian influencer who does the nails. And she's married to a Black man. And during Carnival 19, she made a TikTok saying the N-word. What's that girl's name? Really gaudy, long nails, really almost fake East Coast accent, culture vulture.
Oh,
Tommy filmed a scene with her, and we saw her kids sin. So, and Carlos, I know he worked on Love and Hip Hop way before Tommy joined, but he could have said I don't remember her ever losing her kids. We've seen her kids on TV, and they were young, and she went to jail when one of her kids took one of her gummies. So she definitely has her kids, so I actually am on Tommy's side when it comes to this situation. Nobody wants anybody saying that they lost their kids and had to fight to get.
Now, show styles and spirit, from how you are given that context, conjecture, and connection, I agree with you on the basis of no parent wants to hear that they lost their children. In the same token, on the other side of that, if you move in a behavior that shows that you have a careless energy about not caring for your responsibilities or your life, people do have the right to talk about you. So I agree and disagree, but I respect, love, and revere show styles and spirit. So let's continue.
To get them back, and that's not the case. So I'm totally on Tommy's side with that. But let me know what you all think. So between the two instances with Quad and King and Carlos, or Lisa Ray, Tommy and Carlos, which one do you think is the careless journalism? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. I hope that you all had a thriving Thursday. I'm just so glad that I survived it. I went to the gym immediately after work, And then I came home and now I'm creating content. I think I'm going to get ready to turn in for bed soon. I'm just so happy that the weekend is here, y'all. I am just excited. And are y'all going to go see Halle Bailey's new movie, You, Me, and Tuscany next weekend? I cannot wait. I cannot wait to go see it. It looks so good. And the gentleman is one of the actors from Bridgerton, and he is really hot. Okay, so I feel like this movie is going to be super romantic.
Ebony gonna have herself a good time at the movies, as you can hear.
Go see it or go solo and take yourself out. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.
Ebony reminds me of Sherry G. And by the way, shout out to Sherry G. Love that sister as well. Oh my God. By the way, Ebony is wifey material. Can we just say that? She absolutely is. Now, from Show Styles and Spirit, we're going to go to reviews and recaps because she got some tea. Carlos King had something to say about reality TV. Now, this is from the cosplayer of a supposed king of reality TV. Let's watch this.
The podcast has saved me.
Guys, hit that like button if you have not already. Smash that like button, please. And thank you, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying the show. Get yourself a nice little drink.
Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Now please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post or go live. Also, you can now hype videos, so please hype the videos so that you can put us in the algorithm so that our audience and more people can find us. Thank you so much. Now let's get into it.
But Carlos is here. So, guys, hit that like button if you have not already. Smash that like button, please. And thank you, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying the show. Get yourself a nice little drink. Yeah.
The podcast has saved me. I love it. Producing reality will always be a love of mine, but the industry has changed and it's not fun anymore.
Okay. Y'all heard that.
Let me flip that.
Producing, he loves it, but it's no longer.
The industry has changed.
Yeah.
The podcast has saved me. I love it. Producing reality will always be a love of mine, but the industry has changed and it's not fun anymore.
Okay. Okay.
The podcast has saved me. I love it. Producing reality will always be a love of mine, but the industry has changed and it's not fun anymore.
Okay. Y'all heard that.
Y'all heard that, right? Okay.
Producing, he loves it, but it's no longer fun anymore. That must suck, right? But then I also feel like, sir, the reason it's not fun for you is probably because of the kind of talent you have. I don't want to be rude, but let's think about the people that you are currently producing Love and Marriage Huntsville with. No star quality. Starless. No star quality whatsoever. No fun, vibrant energy whatsoever. Think about a Portia. Portia would always bring vibrant, fun energy, no matter whether or not the storyline, she has a storyline or not, or whether her storyline is a huge part of the show for that season, whatever the case may be, she would still have that very fun, vibrant, like fun energy, that vibe that she can bring to the show, right? And so this is why I always feel like no matter what, if Portia, people like Nene with great energy, fun, vibrant, those people can always bring that energy wherever they are. That was the same with Melody, right? Melody had this very infectious, I said had, not because she doesn't have it anymore, she still does. I just mean when she was on the show. Melody brought that infectious, vibrant, fun energy, right? She was about her business, but she knew how to have fun. She knew she had a really fun personality. Her personality wasn't like overly serious. You see how she is always vibing with the people that work for her and even the fans when like she does lives, you know, back in the day when she would do lives and talk to like some of the fans and people will come up on her live to talk to her. You could just tell she could talk to anybody and it would be a fun time.
I fully agree with reviews and recaps on this take here. And let me explain something else too. You know why people really love Roa? It's not just because it's Black women, but it is the prestige, the energy of the fan base, but most of all, it is how people connect to it. I've always said, and Roa is this type of show, you may not watch Roa, but you expect it to be on TV. You take off Love and Marriage Huntsville, I promise you nobody's going to miss it. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Nobody is going to miss it. It barely gets reviewed now. I bet you if you type in Roa season, what's the season 16, right? Let's see something. What season of Real Housewives of Atlanta? Season 17. If you type in RHOA season 17 reviews, I bet you will have more search results. Give me a moment. So here it is right here. Let me zoom in. You have 1,900 watching. You have 13,000 views from another content creator. Let me just scroll down. $2,200 views. $1,500 views. $9,900 views. You see how there's a pulse there? Now, if I pulled up, and I'm not going to because there's no pulse with that decrepit, dilapidated, and just really need to be put out to pasture disrespectfully of a show. If I pull up that show and the reviews, there's no pulse at all. At all, right? So, like I said, people look forward to Roa because there's something to look forward to. Love and Marriage Huntsville, there's nothing to look forward to. When you have people with mug shots, when you have people infighting with each other all the time, and when you have instability in the cast, nobody wants to watch that. Reality TV is supposed to be a mental narcotic to relax you, to be like, you know what, at least my life ain't that. So if all you can produce, Carlos King, is strife, chaos, and misery, then of course it ain't gonna be fun. I'm just keeping it a buck. Let's get back to reviews and recaps.
If you even think about like the TikTok lives that she would do for 7th Avenue Beauty, normally I would hardly ever watch, actually, let me be clear, I would never normally watch a TikTok live, right? Where anyone is selling products or whatever, because I'm just like, it just feels very product heavy, boring. But I would watch that. Not just to support her, but because it was usually fun, right?
Yeah.
Like tap the screen.
It don't cost a thing.
You know, just different things that she would say that would just make it fun.
She would have
and
phrases,
so I feel like that energy is missing from Love and Marriage Huntsville.
She will offer live.
All we get is Tisha and Destiny bickering, Trish struggling to get her words out.
Not to mention too, what Melody knows how to do great is she knows how to take an inch and make it a mile, right? So she knew how to utilize the show as a vehicle, but she was the platform. She utilized the show as the vehicle, but she was the platform. She utilized the show as the vehicle, but she was the platform. And you don't have anybody moving in that energy. So they exist, but they're not resonating. The show exists, but it's not resonating. The show exists, but it's not resonating. Let's keep going.
The Marriage Huntsville. All we get is Tisha and Destiny bickering, Trish struggling to get her words out, Kimmy supporting and riding for Tisha and looking like she has no backbone. Kimmy basically, you know, being so babyish when it comes to Maurice and putting up with nonsense, in my opinion. These are the kind of things that we are exposed to, and these are the kind of things that we watch. If it's not fun for us, I can understand how it ain't even fun for you, sir. It's the talent. You need to get more fun people. Don't just hire people because they know Martell and they can bring some story about Martell and his infidelities or whatever to the show. Find people that actually have great, fun, funny personalities and add them to the show for comedic effect. That would make it fun.
I fully agree once again with reviews and recaps. Here's the problem, beautiful. In order for a snake to move, it's from the head down, right? So if the head of production doesn't move in that energy, then the actions and choices will be reflected in how they move. If the head is fucked up, then the choices and decisions that come from the head will also be fucked up. If the head, Carlos King, is fucked up and his decisions and his actions are fucked up, then it will be reflective in the production. That's also a fuck up. So I agree, but here's the thing. Just because you put lipstick on a pig doesn't mean that that pig doesn't need to be disrespectfully slaughtered. That's why I say he's a cosplayer of being a supposed king of reality TV. You have a love for it, but yet you say it isn't fun. You have a love for it, but you say it isn't fun. You have a love for it, but yet you say it isn't fun. When I typed in Own's Instagram post about Bell Collective, I said, Selena don't need this show. She could carry her own show. Bring It brought Black people a lifetime. 9 people liked it because they know it was the fucking truth. And believe me, you, that new Bell Collective Birmingham, it's going to fall dead on arrival as well. Because we know the behavior of Carlos King. This is the same dude that did not talk to his Love and Marriage DC cast for a full year. This is the same person right, that knew or at least could get an idea of all the legal happenings happening, but did not attend to it in real time. And number three, this is the same person, right, that he is creating the environment and making way for social media to be more of the show than the television show. Social media is more the show than the show is. Social media is more the show than the show is. So when you have that type of energy, of course, reality TV is not going to be as fun for you because you don't have a handle, a control, and you don't understand the frequency of how the show needs to be produced, how the show needs to be created, produced, and distributed to the people. Let's continue. I did say I was a media nerd, right? Yes, I did. I did say I was the chemical X of social media. Yes, I did. I did say you can't, you won't, and you never will be able to do what I do. You may know more than me, and you may outdo me in doing more than me, but you will never out-hustle me in being me. Let's continue.
Right? There are certain people where they can enter a room and be friends with everybody just from just making random conversations. Those are the kind of people you need to bring in because they would bring that fun energy that you are missing. And I understand how sometimes you could have been working on something for such a long time and then over time you just get fed up or you lose interest. I completely understand that happens. But sometimes the reason is because everything has become such a routine. You need to switch things up, change the players. And so that's what I think he needs to do with Love and Married Huntsville. If not, he will still continue to feel the way he's feeling.
It used to be so fun. And
Bell Collective also in really fun. It's just drama all the time. And that's the thing. The reason why Real Housewives of Atlanta was very successful, especially in the early days, is because it was fun. Even, remember, Bye Ashy, like, it was not that deep. Nobody was going to hell and back. Nobody was constantly saying all sorts of things. It was just sly comments. Remember, the white refrigerator comments. Oh, is this where you're staying? No, we need to find you a new place. You know, things like that. It was lighthearted. It was not that deep. Now it feels like people are going for the jugular and the fun has been removed from reality TV in general.
I have an example. Let me show y'all this real quick.
It's not just feeding the hungry only on Thanksgiving. It's not just feeding the hungry only on Thanksgiving. It's an everyday situation. You know what I mean? This is 265 days a year.
That is funny. 265 days? Where the hell that bitch live at?
It's not just...
Now, see, that bitch, Portia, lives in Atlanta. You see how there are ties that people can connect to. You see how people will defend the totality of somebody. And do you see how regardless of how the show moves, people still want to move with the show? And not to mention, too, Bravo understood their fandom and created a platform for the fandom to engage with the content with BravoCon. OWN doesn't have OWNCon. Now, I've talked about Ready to Love. I talked about how if OWN takes the 90 Day Fiance strategy and applies that Ready to Love, OWN would be fine. They could do the Ready to Love con and everything that I pitched. But see, when you don't recognize your worth will be diminished by how people don't embrace you. If you don't define your worth, people will define their worth by their investment. If you don't define your worth, people will define your worth by their investment. Let's continue.
I marvel at our time together, where we would cuss each other out, love on each other.
I bet he misses Bravo. That is what it's given. It's given I miss Bravo and the girls, honey. Not the Real Housewife, not the Love and Marriage Huntsman, not the Bell Collective. I miss Bravo and the girls, aka Portia.
Be mad at each other, celebrate each other off camera, attend each other's birthday parties off season. And we never threw each other under the bus.
No.
It was always,
we still protected each other.
We
went through our stuff.
Yeah, and not that we did.
And it's interesting what he said. They would always protect each other, and I've seen that with a lot of the OG castmates to this day. I would see that every time Phaedra will talk about Nene, it's always in good. It's always in good stead. Even when Portia and Nene had beef, Portia would still talk about great things and still say she wants Nene back. It felt like no matter what, even Kenya would still say she wants Nene back. It just felt like no matter what, yes, they would say sly comments about each other, but they knew the value that each of them brought to the show, and they never wanted that
because
to
they gave a damn.
Anything crazy to be protected.
Yeah.
It was just more so like it's a family. Like, oh, this bitch had a bad day. I don't give a fuck. Like,
because they gave a damn, they matched the energy, and they understood the weight of each other. Because they gave a damn, they understood the weight of each other, and they matched the energy. Because they gave a damn about each other, they understood the weight of each other, they matched the energy. That's why Carlos King doesn't feel like reality TV is no longer fun, because he's not moving in that energy as the head. So because he's not moving that energy as the head, he's looking at his productions of, oh my God, my shows are shit. He's not saying that. I'm just translating the quiet part out loud. Because he moves as shit, and because his productions move as shit, and because the culture is not embracing the shit, he's got that viewpoint. Let's continue.
Like, Carlos, you mad? I would never forget season 9 when y'all were like, you mad at us? And we were crossing some bridge, and y'all are shaking the bridge like, Carlos, talk to us. Don't be mad at us. I'm like, I'm about to die and fall off this bridge. Crazy. Portia led that charge.
Yes, shout out to
Portia. But we had fun. I feel like reality stars now, they're not in it for the love of the art. And I'm no longer interested in being used. I'm no longer interested in trying my best to help people out, and they take advantage of it. And the moment they don't get their way, they're blasting you on social media, and you're like, ooh.
So you said that people are not in love with the art. Did you say that the audience can spot a fake from a mile away? So how can you say that people are not in love with the art when you said it's no longer fun for you? Wait a minute. Clock that T. How can you say people are not in the world reality for the art when you're not loving producing the art? How can you say people are not in reality for the art when you're no longer in love with creating the art? And Carlos, if you treat people right, people will talk about you correctly. But if you treat people wrong, people will talk about you wrongly. Let me say it 2 more times. If you treat people correctly, they will talk about you correctly. If you treat people wrongly, they will talk about you wrongly. If you treat people correctly, they will talk about you correctly. But if you treat them wrongly, they will talk about you wrongly. Let's continue.
Ooh, does that sound like Monique? Is it about Monique? Is it about Monique? It could be, it may not be. He did not mention names, but I do wonder if this is about Monique. Because when Monique left Bravo, she then moved over to Carlos and Own. And then now she's back at Bravo. And then, of course, she had that interview where she was basically saying that he did her worse than the white men did her, right? So I do wonder if it is low-key him saying, like, you know, when Bravo didn't want you, I took you out of the trenches, I helped you, and now, you know, you're back at it and you are speaking and saying things against me. So I do wonder if that's what it is.
Like, that's not even true. But because I can't say anything, because I'm the professional and I have a boss who owns the network, I can't say anything. But when reality
you are a
starts,
brand now. You
I'm
are
a brand,
a celebrity
so I
yourself.
have to,
If you have to say that you're a professional, you're not professional. If you have to say you're a professional, you're not professional. If you have to say you're a professional, you're not professional. Now, I know what people are going to say. Well, Bray, don't people have the right to say that they're professional? Based on the context, conjecture, and connection of the conversation is, you can talk about your credentials and, you know, your repertoire, and the vitality of what you have been about, then yes, you have the right to say how you are a professional. But champions don't have to keep calling themselves champions. They just execute that energy. That's it. That's it. That's it. Let's continue.
just take shit on the chin and just be like, all right, the podcast has saved me.
So he is basically saying he could clap back, but now he cannot because he is a brand. And of course, he got a job that he has to protect. And so I'm definitely here for it. I understand that, like, you know, you have a job you want to protect, you have to protect. Say less. I completely get it. So yeah, absolutely understand. It is what it is. Okay, so
Shout out to reviews and recaps, y'all. Y'all, that is the show. We did that in 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 10 seconds. Got 2 positive news stories for you all, and then we're going to head on out of here, okay? So, shout out to Carnival Cruise Lines, everybody, for this destination right here. Courtesy of Yahoo! Enter. I was about to say Yahoo Entertainment. Let me flip that, reverse that, rewind it back one more time. Courtesy of Yahoo! Travel via Parade Magazine, parade.com. Carnival's new private island just became the first sensory-inclusive cruise destination. As you guys know, our second destination this afternoon, was talking about autism. So let's get to it. In a major move for accessible travel, Carnival Cruise Line has announced that Celebration Key, its massive new exclusive destination on Grand Bahama, is the first ever cruise port to earn a Culture Key sensory inclusion certification. The announcement timed for World Autism Acceptance Month. Shout out to everybody with autism and all the caretakers and everybody in between that are supporters. Marks a significant step in making the private island experience accessible for guests with sensory processing needs, including autism, PTSD, and dementia. If you ever navigate a bustling cruise port, you know that they can be a whirlwind of bright lights, loud music, and cheering crowds. To combat the potential for sensory overload, Carnival has trained more than 400 guests facing team members at Celebration Key to recognize and support travelers who might need a quieter, more controlled environment. What this means for your next port day. The certification isn't just a plaque on the wall, it comes with tangible tools for families. Guests can now check out complimentary sensory bags that include, this is what includes everybody, noise reducing headphones and fidget tools. Specialized glasses to filter out strobe lights in bright Bahamian sun, a VIP lanyard featuring a discrete light bulb signal, which signals to staff that guests might need extra patience or require space without the guests having to explain their situation repeatedly, and a feeling thermometer, rather, to help nonverbal guests communicate their emotions to staff quickly. By training our team members and offering tailored resources, we ensure that every guest feels supported, understood, and welcome, said Christine Duffy, president of Carnival Cruise Line. To celebrate the milestone, Celebration Key is even hosting a sensory room, or hosted a sensory room pop-up on April 3rd, offering a calm, air-conditioned retreat for guests who need to decompress between the beach and the ship, rather. This builds on Carnival's existing fleet-wide partnership with Culture City, which is already seeing similar trains, resources implemented across its 29 ships. Now, personally, I think that sensory pop-up needs to just stay on the island, personally, to me. It's great that you have the bags, but I think that sensory room could be the fifth thing to add to those 4 resources there. If you or a family member has sensory sensitivities, you don't have to wait until you're on the island to get help. You can actually request these resources through Carnival's shoreside call center during the booking process, ensuring that your sensory bag is ready and waiting the moment you step off the gangway at Celebration Key. This was published by Parade on April 4th, 2026, where it first appeared on in the travel section. So congratulations to Carnival for making it do what it do there. Yes, indeed. And finally, everybody, shout out to Dawn Staley and the Gamecock women. They did have a huge loss, but child, what Dawn Staley has done, to the point where the professional league is calling her. When she retires, she will definitely have a career at ESPN. And honestly, if Stephen A. Smith had the capacity, capability, comprehension of brain cells from brain to be humble, sit down somewhere and recognize that other people have a voice, I think Dawn Staley could bring a lot to First Take. Absolutely, I do. Yes, a full-time woman on First Take. Oh my God, that would change the game. Our last positive news story right here comes to us from CBS Sports. UCLA women win their first NCAA hoops title. UCLA women win their first NCAA hoops title. You see those women there. Oh my God, what a joyous occasion right there. UCLA women win first NCAA hoops title. So right here, UCLA won the NCAA women's basketball tournament and will crown a men's champion tonight. The Bruins are national champions for the first time in the NCAA tournament era. A 28-point win over South Carolina on Sunday gave them the third largest margin of victory in championship history. And it came as Lauren Betts recorded yet another double-double to close out her remarkable college career. So Lauren Betts may be going to the WNBA. The men's tournament, meanwhile, concluded last night when Michigan and UConn squared off at Lucas Oil Stadium in Minneapolis. So congratulations to UCLA. That is it for me. One love, much love, all love. I feel the love is sending right back to you. Join me a little bit later on tonight, 6 o'clock. Roa is back. We're reviewing it live. See y'all soon. Bye.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
I've been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I have been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I have been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content.
Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the